as a top producing relationship-based real estate agent. Do you ever feel like you're invited to a buffet, you bring the food, and everybody else brings a fork? What I mean by that is, are you the one that's regularly passing referrals? Think about it. How many referrals did you pass in just the last month? Now, my question to you is, how many referrals did you get back from those same companies to whom you referred? If the answer is 0, we got a real problem. If the answer is far less than I sent out, we still have a problem. In this episode, I'm going to walk through who are the major professions from whom you should be getting referrals and how to actually begin to unlock those referrals. If you're like me, you've tried professional networking before, but it wasn't very profitable. What I mean by that is maybe you've gone to a Chamber of Commerce event where you're passing out business cards to random professionals, hoping that somebody there turns into something for you. Or maybe you've even gone to a step to join like a local BNI chapter, where you form a chapter and it's your job to bring all these other parties to the table. You meet with them every week. You've got all these leadership responsibilities. It can be heavy. Now, I've been a part of both of those. And on some level, I've found value there, mostly in building personal relationships. I can't say that either one of those have been wildly profitable for my business. Keep in mind that other professionals from whom you could and should be sending and receiving referrals feel the same way. That although it can be good, it's quite the lift to get it to where it's really profitable. So what do? Do you just give up on professional networking altogether? Well, that's what many people have done. That's why you see fewer and fewer people out trying to actually generate business from other professionals, because it oftentimes looks like this. You go to one of those events, you pass cards, you get an invitation to meet afterwards, or you extend an invitation to meet afterwards. You go to a coffee meeting, you go to a lunch meeting, maybe you play golf, and then you start talking about business. Now, I might be exaggerating a little bit on how long it takes to actually talk about business, but keep in mind, this is what keeps many professionals from really being serious about generating business from other professionals. So what do? How do we fix that? If you didn't know this already, I'm a co-founder and CEO of a company called ProInsight. ProInsight, we are modernizing professional networking. What I mean by that is this antiquated model that I described before, where you go in person in order to exchange a bunch of business cards, in order to see who might have the same clients or who might be interested in generating business. What if you were to cut through all of that? Right? It's the same thing that Match.com has done in the dating space. It's like, if I'm on Match.com, it's because I want to date, right? And let me tell you everything about myself so that I only get matched up with people who are really interesting to me. What if that were true in the professional networking space? If I'm on the platform, it's because I'm here to generate more referrals from other professionals, okay? And here's everything about me so that you can jump straight to the chase, as opposed to having to go on a bunch of dates before we see if there's any interest, right? So this is what the power of what we're building. Now, let me walk you through what professionals you should be getting referrals from. Now, keep in mind that these are professionals that you are probably sending business to on the regular. For example, electrical professionals, flooring professionals, general contractor, general handyman, HVAC professional, landscaping professional, moving professional, painting professional, pest control professional, plumbing professional, pool service professional, property inspector, roofing professional, solar panel professional, and last but not least, tree trimming professional. Now, why did I say these particular professions? Why did I bring them up here on the screen? It's for a very simple reason, that each of these professionals are brought to the table oftentimes as a precursor to someone listing a home for sale. Okay, I want you to think about that. What if you had a relationship with each of these professionals and you knew that they were going to be in homes each and every day of the week, and that some percentage of those property owners with whom they were meeting and establishing trust were doing this work because they were getting ready to sell their home? Wouldn't that be interesting to you? So yes, these are the professionals that you should have in your network. Not only are they positioned to be able to alert you to the fact that a real estate transaction is coming, but these are the professionals to whom you've already made significant deposits into that emotional and physical bank account. Think about it. These are the professionals that your clients have often asked you for a recommendation. You've referred these professionals. They owe you one. Right? Now, we're not going to treat it like that. This is not an obligation to refer you. We're not going to come from a spirit of entitlement. So let's talk about what spirit you do come to these professionals. So what is the spirit with which you should come to these professionals? It's one of gratitude. That's right. Don't come in with a spirit of entitlement or it will not go well. Now, what do I mean by a spirit of gratitude? I encourage you to reach out to them. Either call call them, sit down with them and say, look, I want you to know how much I appreciate the way in which you treat my clients. I know I've had the good fortune of sending you, and if you have some concept, like dozens or multiple clients, and they've all said such great things about you. I want to thank you for that. And I have a question for you. Are you interested in collaborating with me on a deeper level? Or another question is, do you mind if I ask a huge favor of you? Either one of those will prepare you, will position you for the next conversation. And that next conversation looks like this. I understand that your business is much bigger than my referrals. And I'm aware that some of those clients that you're serving that didn't come referred by me do not have a really good real estate agent to whom they are going to be utilizing. So I was wondering if you would be open and willing to ask them the question of what prompted you to do this work today. That's a key question, because in there lies the opportunity for the client to tell you, well, we are trimming our trees because we are preparing our home for sale, right? Or it could be, we're turning off our pest control services because we're preparing our home to sell. And I'd be really interested to know if any of your clients are doing the work they're hiring you to do because they're wanting to sell their home. Would you be willing to ask that question? And if they say yes, great. If not, just make mental note that this is a great provider, right? This is a great provider for taking care of your clients, but they're not willing to collaborate. Therefore, you may need to replace them, right? Have that in your mind. I wouldn't say that, but I would at least have that in your mind. The next question that I would ask you to ask your clients is, do you have a level 9 or 10 real estate agent who's helping you sell this home? This gives the professional the opportunity to let the client speak up for themselves if they already have a deep and great relationship. If they do, great. Any one of these professionals at that point may say, great, would you mind making an introduction? If you have a level 10 real estate agent, would you mind making an introduction on my behalf? I'd love to meet a level 10 real estate agent, the level 10 real estate agent that you're working with, okay? Now, if the consumer comes back and says, no, I wouldn't give them a 10. In fact, we haven't quite decided, or I'm not sure if they're that good. Then at that point, you say, would you be open if I were to make a 3-way text introduction to a real estate agent who I would say is a 9 or a 10 level professional? If the client says they're okay with that, then the professional is able to do a 3-way text introduction, and you're off and running with a client who's prepared to sell, who's coming referred from another professional, and that client is expecting to hear from you, okay? That's what that introduction would sound like. And that's exactly the opportunity that you can unlock from these professionals right here. Now, I want to do some math for you. Is that 20 professional partners? Now, you might be saying there's not quite 20 on this list. I'm aware of that. Stick with me here for just a minute. But 20 professional partners should each be able to refer you once per quarter. Why? Because they're in the homes of property owners every single day of the week. And if they're truly asking that question, they're going to have at least one opportunity to refer you every single quarter. Think about what that would do for your business. 20 professional partners asking that question, referring you 4 times per year. That's 80 referrals. Even if only 25% of those referrals actually close, that's 20 new pieces of ideal business every single year because of this one strategy. Now you might be saying, well, what about the other professionals? Why don't we have 20 over here? Let's go to the next screen, which is these are the asset-based professionals that I want you to consider as being great referral sources for you, right? We have attorneys, 4 different types of them, right? Bankruptcy, real estate, estate probate, and family law. We have estate planning coordinators, commercial brokers, commercial lenders, financial advisors, headhunting professionals, insurance professionals, property managers, real estate agent, that's you. But keep in mind, it could be real estate agents from other markets, residential lender, reverse mortgage professional, senior advisor, tax professional. That's a big list, right? Altogether, I've listed out 31 total professionals, 30 not including you. So these professionals right here are not going to be in somebody's home doing work prior to them buying or selling their home, right? But what they will be doing is helping them plan out their financial life. Think about financial advisor or attorneys. These professionals are directly connected to their clients, very active in their clients' lives at the times of transition. So these professionals would ask the question, not what prompted you to do this work today, but they would ask, do you anticipate buying or selling any property in the upcoming year? Think about that. A tax professional would ask that question, whereas normally they would ask the question of, did you buy or sell any property in the past year, which doesn't do you any good. But if they were to say, do you anticipate buying or selling any property in the upcoming year? That's a very good question for you. When these professionals ask that question, they're going to identify that a certain percentage of their clients, as they're going through this transitionary moment in their life, are going to be buying or selling real estate. Okay. Now, the next question that they would ask is the same one that I taught you before, which is, great, do you already have a level 9 or 10 professional helping you with your real estate transaction? Right? If the answer is no, would you be open to meeting someone who I would rate as being such? Great, I'll do a 3-way text intro. You can vet them out and make a decision for yourself. Right? That's a very easy way for you to receive regular referrals from these professionals. Now, the 2 questions you might be asking include, number 1, why would these professionals do that? And number 2, am I supposed to train them all on how to do that? Let me answer those 2 questions. So question number 1, which is, why would they do that? In each of these situations, these particular professionals are working in a silo. In other words, they're not really adding more value to the client other than what they can do themselves. By them asking the client, what prompted you to do this work today? Or do you anticipate buying or selling any property in the upcoming year? They're adding more value to the client. They're getting more to the root of what's actually happening in their life, anticipating that there's another professional that they're going to need next, that they're going to want to connect. Okay. What this does, it actually increases the value proposition of the professional who's asking those questions. So why would they do it? Sure, they might do it because there's a desire to want to send you a referral. But even beyond that, they're doing it because they're no longer able to be compared to any of the other competitors in their space, because they're not only offering the service that they do in a silo, they're now collaborating with other professionals in other industries, making their client experience impenetrable. Now, question number 2, which is, am I supposed to train all these professionals how to do that? It feels kind of weird for me to sit in front of a professional and teach them why they should be referring me, right? That only goes so far. You have to have quite a bit of influence with one of these professionals in order to pull that off. So my answer to that is, you absolutely could and should, unless you are a member of ProInsight. And this is just a minor plug for what we're doing here at ProInsight. But what we do is we act as the independent third party. We train these professionals how to have these conversations with their clients and why they should be doing it for their own sake, let alone why it's good for you. So if there's any interest, no pressure, but if there's any interest in learning more about ProInsight, please reach out to me. We'd love to see how we can help you to put this entire strategy into place. By the way, you'll be surprised at how affordable it is.